And here we are. If you notice, this version of Dawn of a New Age was copyrighted 2015. And it's still saying Dawn of a New Age by Willie Easter Jr. This screenplay may not be reproduced without the expressed written consent of the author. And copyright is 2015. But you can notice there's a slight change in the formatting and the setup of the screenplay. Now everything is pretty much the same. You see the intro right there, explored from another world, discovered a planet where mankind are enslaved by aliens and madmen. I mean, that's all still the same. But when you bring the screenplay up, Now the only thing that changed on this one is I added numbers in. This one actually got numbers on the page. See? Now let's go further down. I want to show you something real quick here. Now, this is how it's set up when it first comes in. All that's still the same right there. And you see him thinking to himself, that's the same. But when you get down to the line, you see that now the numbers are missing. I didn't put line 1 or line 2 or anything like that. I put like this. You see the character's name is above and the line is below. George, you wanted to see me, Commander? Sharp was startled by George's sudden words. Then Sharp replies, yes, Captain, I didn't see you come in. Then it goes back to George. What's up? And you can see the difference. Now I got the actual characters and lines written in bold print or text, and I got the directions or emotions that the actor would actually show written in a lighter text or print. See how you got that's bold and that's just a little bit lighter. Sharp hands George his orders on a small, thin, portable computer tablet. All he's saying is Sharp hands George his orders on a small, thin, portable computer tablet. Then Sharp says, there are your orders. Please read carefully. But you see, when you're acting it out, it says, they are your orders. Please read carefully. Then George replies, when you're acting it out, you get to be acted out in a way like you actually communicate with somebody. Who's in charge of Station 10? Captain Thornburg. Why? Just asking. This will be a one-man mission. Your mission is to investigate Base Station 10, find out why there's no communications. Any questions, Captain? No, I think I can handle that. And you can see the difference in how this format is set up and how the other one was set up. You see no lines, not like line 1 or line 2 or line 3, but the screenplay is the same. See, George left the bridge while Commander Sharp walked over to the ship's view screen. He stood and stared out at the strange new world. George was excited about his mission. He returned to his quarters and prepared himself by packing an extra laser gun. He looked over at the wall and saw his nunchuckle and packed it with the rest of his equipment and left. And this is one of the versions I actually submitted to a contest, and one of the so-called contest judges said, well, I apologize for that. I have never submitted this. I submitted another screenplay called The Gatekeeper. but it's written in the same type of format. And I think one of the judges said that we're sorry, but you need to be rewritten in traditional screenwriting format. And then they give you all these different formats and all these different type of software you need to be using. And then they try to get you about $700 software. I said, no. That's one thing I noticed about when you enter these contests. Most of the time it'd be just a scam. Be telling you to go through all these different stages before they actually look at your screenplay. And now you charge them something like $35 or $40 just to get them to look at it. And they reject it because it's not written on a certain software. And one of them actually tried that. Well, if you push this $700 software and rewrite it, then we may give it a look at it. I said, thank you and have a very nice day. Not gonna happen. So beware when you submit your screenplay to some of these contests. Now we can go back to the other one, and I'll show you how that one looked at the bottom of the screen. Now, if you see on the screen of her, this one is the way I originally wrote it, back in 2013. And the manuscript was written almost in the same way when I submitted to First Book Library. And this is where I rewrote it in 2015. And this is how it looks. See? I got my lines. I got the actions that were taking place. George thinking to himself, there's no one alive. But if you're acting it out, and after seeing your shipmates murdered and burning, and you're thinking in your head, there's no one alive. Or you can slow that down and say, there's no one alive. The smell of burned flesh filled the air as George continued to look for survivors. He tried to disregard the smell of burned flesh. George knelt down on one knee and checked the bodies of his shipmates, and checked the body of one of his shipmates. He restrained himself from showing any emotions. And we switch back to the other one, and this is another scene, and it's a flashback to past. Now, in the scene that you just add, this is a flashback. At one time, Aaron was a man. It just basically didn't know he was a man at one time. He and his followers were an ancient cult of demon worshippers. Aaron led his followers to kill, destroy, and make sacrifices unto demons. But wise men overpowered Aaron and his evil followers. Many were killed during the battle between Aaron and the wise men. Yet Aaron was overthrown by fighters against evil oppressors. And that's what you see. The difference between it's the same screenplay. I mean, that's further along in the screenplay. And this is pretty much the beginning of this one, but the screenplay is the same. And it makes no difference how many type of formats you put it in. Depending on the studio and how they accept the screenplay, they'll probably reject it. If it's not written in a future tense, or if it's not written according to their guidelines, or some traditional guideline. But I do notice a lot of people go to software stores and when they buy computer software, and they buy software that generates screenplays for them. That's something I did not do. I said I wanted my screenplay to be original. I wanted to have control over my creativity and the way it's written. So when I present it to a studio, I said, this is the way the story has been written out, and what you see in the story is all in there, And you can go from this and add special effects, add edits. That's one reason I added the lines. Line 12 and line 13. I mean, because I do little short animated films, and I write short screenplays, and during my editing process, I know where every line is, I know the character and who's saying this line, and it also helps me edit the scene better. If I want to move a line, add a new line, I know where to go. And this is Bel-El, the demon sucklers. Now, when you act it out, and it's on screen, I mean, you have to put emotions and you got to make the scene believable. Calm yourself, my friend. Aaron will rule again, and nothing can stop that. Tiamat turned to Bel-El, facing each other. Now, I wrote it this way, even though you know Tiamat turned to Bel-El. And then in parentheses, I wrote facing each other. That's basically, now they're facing each other. Then Bel-El, look, my friend. Bel-El pointed toward the mountains. A dawning of a new age, and we will rule it together with Aaron. Then right here you got Tiamat's answered. Yes, Bel-El, we will rule again. But now I need the head of a man and the head of a woman to break the spell of Aaron's tomb. But like I said earlier, I mean, I had fun writing the screenplay. I done a lot of research, and I wanted to make sure when I wrote it that I could communicate well on paper. So when someone else wrote it, would read it, they would say, well, I know exactly what's going on in this scene. All he simply said is you need the head of a man and the head of a woman to break the spell, and he's going to give some type of incantation or some type of spell breaker to break the spell, so he can actually enter Aaron's tomb and loosen him and free him. Here another character is introduced, Taboo the witch, Aaron's wife, and later on, he meet Jackal the headhunter. And you have dialogue back and forth. And then you want to express it a little bit. Tiamat loudly said, "It's our time. By the power of the snake, give me the power. I, Tiamat, command you." Then he continues, "Aaron, are you here, my king?" At that moment, a voice from the chamber floor cried out aloud and said, "I am here." It's the original. And that can be difficult sometimes because people don't want to work for you if they think you're difficult to work with. But it's not that you're being difficult, just that you want to keep the spirit and the essence of what you wrote. And if you ever get the chance to be on screen, you want other people to say, well, he wrote that well, and he kept it original. Because you notice in movies these days, they basically copy one another, and you hear the same line in about 10 different movies because they got no originality. Well, I just want to share it with you, and I wanted to communicate that. And I had a wonderful experience writing my screenplay. Totally wonderful. and the opportunities that's been presented to me, I hope I can work with a studio that's going to keep the essence and the storyline together. Because I wanted to aim it to a multiple audience, not just one particular group. It should be something that everyone want to view and enjoy.